Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to solve 2024 October-November paper 12. This would be the first part of the video, so we'll solve from question number 1 to 10. A business sells computers. When it values its inventory, it excludes the value of the inventory that is more than 1 year old. This is because it may be obsoleted. Which accounting principle does this demonstrate? Okay, so we are not including the value which is very old in our inventory, and which accounting principle we are applying here. So it is not a going concern. It means that business will continue in foreseeable future. It's not a historical cost. We record the transaction based on our historical cost, but it is a prudence. Okay, so correct answer is prudence because we want to show the true and fair picture of the business. So these inventories are outdated or obsoleted. So in that case, we'll not be able to sell them. So we'll not include that in the value of inventory. So correct answer is C. Number 2. A business purchase clerk has to use a password to access the ledger in computerized accounting system. What is the purpose of the password? Number 1, to limit the access to the purchase ledger by others, to prevent the clerk accidentally deleting the supplier's account, and to stop the clerk recording a fraudulent and unauthorized invoice. See, when we have a clerk or somebody who is working on the purchase ledger, so we give them password. After they enter the password, they can actually delete the supplier's account because they are working with the purchase. Okay, they can also record the transactions which is not there. Okay, so fraudulent transaction can be recorded there. Okay, but it will limit this person just with the sales ledger. That means he or she cannot go and then record transactions in purchase ledger or in cash book. So the purpose of the password is to limit the access to the purchase ledger by others. Okay, so that means he can record the transactions out there, and he can also not go and then record in other places. So the correct option is B. Number 3, Peter is a credit customer of John. Okay, he settles his account of 200 by he pays by check and received a cash discount of 5%. Okay, so Peter is a customer for John. So John is a supplier and Peter is a customer. So in this case, he settles his transaction. That means Peter settles his transaction of 200. But for that, he pays check after receiving the discount of 5%. So 5% of 200 is 10. So he receives a discount of 10 and then he pays 190. So which entry are made in John's book? So John is a supplier here. So what does John record in his transaction? So John is receiving money. So bank account debit. He is allowing discount to Peter. So discount allowed debit. And then he is receiving all this from Peter. So Peter account credit. So correct answer is A. Bank account debit, discount allowed debit, and then Peter credit. Number 4, which item is a capital income? Okay, so when we sell capital assets or gain from the capital assets by selling this asset is called sorry, not gain, but when we sell this non-current assets, then the income from this non-current asset is my capital income. Okay, so we can say it is a non operating activity of the business, like bank receiving interest. Okay, bank interest received, this is an operating activity. This is not a capital gain or capital income. Proceed from the sales of business premises, so this is a non-current asset. We sold it and then we are receiving money, so this is my capital income. Okay, rent is not capital income, neither the sale of inventory is a capital income. So correct answer is B. Number 5, a draft profit for the year of a business is 53,000. During the year, the business acquired new premises and included the following cost in the cost of premises. So they have not given us what was the cost of premises, but in that cost of the premises, we included legal fee 1500 and insurance for 4500. So when we buy premises, the one-time expenditure like legal fee should be added with the cost of premises, but this insurance is recurring expense. Okay, so this should go in statement of profit and loss to calculate the profit and loss. So right now this 4500 was not included in the cost. So the profit or the draft profit of the business is 5300, so 53,000. Okay, in this we need to subtract insurance, which is 4500, and this is the expense of this year, should be included this year. So if I subtract that, uh, so amount is 48,500. Okay, so 48,500, correct option is B. Number 6. Non-current asset can be depreciated using a number of methods. Okay, how is the most appropriate method decided? So what is the most appropriate way to, or this ways to decide about the depreciation? The question is, answer is, number one, the method chosen improves the profit for the year of the business. It is not true. Okay, the method that we choose should not improve the profit. Okay, the method chosen is easily understood by the user of the financial statement. That is also not right. The method chosen is easy to calculate. That is also not correct. And last one is the method chosen reflects the pattern of usage of non-current asset. This is correct. Okay, so if I use the asset and I can see that I can use that asset, or it gives me benefit equally throughout its life, then I'll use the straight line method. But if asset in the early stage, if the asset gives me a more benefit than its later life, then in that case we'll use reducing balance method. Okay, take example of machinery. So machinery, when it is new, it can produce lot more than when it is old. Okay, so it is appropriate to calculate depreciation in the machinery using reducing balance method. Now that pattern is when or how are we using the machineries or non-current asset. So the correct answer here is D. Number 7, Ryan purchased a van for 16,000 on 31st December 2021. It is his policy to apply 25% per annum reducing balance depreciation for each part of the year the asset is held. Ryan traded the van in on 1st July 2024 for 6,150, reduction on the cost of new van. What was the profit or loss made on the disposal of the van? Okay, this is very simple question. Uh, So what we need to do is we need to assume that the year starts on 1st January, ends on 31st December. So we are purchasing this in 31st December 2021. This is the last day of 2021. So we'll start calculating depreciation from 2022 onwards. Okay. So in 2022, we calculate depreciation. So depreciation is 16,000 and 25% of 16,000. If I calculate 25% of 16,000, which is 4,000. Okay. In 2023, we'll calculate depreciation. This is a reducing balance method. So 16,000 minus 4,000. And in that we calculate 25%. Okay. And the depreciation in 2023 is which is 9,000, 12,000, and then this is 3,000. Okay. Now in 2024, we calculate depreciation, which is 16,000 minus 4,000 minus 3,000. So altogether, in that I'll calculate 25%. Okay, but however, this year in 2024 we are selling it in the month of July. So for entire, we did not use it for entire year. We use it only for 6 months out of 12 months. So we calculate depreciation in that manner. So this 9,000 into 25%, and then that is into 6 divided by 12. So depreciation is 1,125 for 2024. So I can see that the total depreciation here, okay, let me just write down total. Total depreciation is when I add all these three. Okay, so it's coming 8,125 total depreciation. Now the cost of the asset is 16,000, total depreciation is 8,125. So we can easily calculate the net book value. Net book value is cost minus accumulated depreciation. So accumulated depreciation out here is 8,125. So I can calculate my net book value is 7,875. Okay, so this is the net book value, but we sold this for 6,150. Okay, so if I sell this for 6,150, so this is my loss. Okay, this is my loss of 6,150, which is 1,725 is my loss. Okay, so the correct answer is B. 8. The total of the trial balance of business did not agree. The following errors were discovered. The wages account has been overcast by 550. The sales account has been undercast by 400. A credit sales of 150 had been recorded on the sales invoice as 510. After the appropriate corrections were made, the trial balance total agreed. What was the difference between the trial balance total before the corrections were made? Okay. Very simple. Now we'll look at the first one. The wages account has been overcast by 550. So in the trial balance, if this is my debit side and this is my credit side, so here I wrote 550 more. Okay, so excess amount is written out here. That means we have less 550 on the credit side. Second one is there is a sales account which has been undercast. I was supposed to write down 400 here, but I did not write this 400 here. So again the credit side is less by 400. And then the last one is a credit sales of 150 has been recorded on the sales invoice. So sales invoice means when we are recording this transaction, or when we are selling, instead of writing 150 we wrote 510. So this is an error of original entry. So those 6 errors would not affect the trial balance. Okay, so now in the trial balance the difference is this credit side is undercast by 550, so I have 550 on the credit, but I was supposed to write down 400. That also I did not write. So altogether total is 550 plus 400, which is 950. So correct answer is D. So difference in the trial balance is 950. In the books, in the books of a trader, discount received of 100 and 1400 have been posted correctly in the supplier's account but debited in discount allowed account. So we received a discount from a supplier. We correctly recorded that in supplier's account, but when we are about to write it in discount received, we wrote that on the debit side of discount allowed. So discount received is an income, so it is a credit balance. But instead of writing it on the credit side in discount received, we wrote it on the debit side in discount allowed. So my option is first I need to remove it from the discount allowed. So it was written on the debit side, so I will write down on the credit side in discount allowed. So discount allowed should be credited. And then discount received is a credit balance, so in order to add amount here I need to write down in discount received on the credit side 1400. Okay, and the difference would be in the suspense account. So the journal entry is discount allowed debit, sorry, credit, discount received credit, and on the debit we have suspense account. So the correct journal entry is suspense account debit, discount allowed credit, and discount received credit. And the last question for the day: what are the advantages of preparing a bank reconciliation statement? Okay. First one, it eliminates the risk of fraud in the banking transactions. It is not possible, okay, because it may happen at any stage, okay. So it helps to identify errors in the bank statement, correct? So if there's a fraud and then those balance are not matching, then it will help us to identify that. And then it helps to identify outdated checks. Yes, it also helps us to identify outdated checks because there are some checks that I have issued, okay, which may not have been encashed by the suppliers, or check that I have deposited which is not credited to my account, maybe it's because of the outdated check. Okay, so 2 and 3 is my correct option, which is D. Okay, so with this we come to the end of today's video. Hope you like it. If you have more questions, do post comments, and if you are new to the channel, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.